Call the number on your screen right now. Free.
Si tiene diabetes y tiene Medicare, Medicaid o un seguro privado, usted podría calificar para un monitor continuo de glucosa nuevo. Controlar su diabetes es crucial para su salud. Los nuevos sistemas MCG pueden manejar mejor su diabetes de manera fácil y automática. Y al usar un monitor continuo de glucosa, puede eliminar lo que a los pacientes diabéticos más les desagrada: la punción de los dedos. Ahora puede controlar automáticamente su diabetes y acabar con las dolorosas punciones de los dedos. US Med le facilita obtener un monitor continuo de glucosa nuevo. Nos encargamos de todo el papeleo del seguro por usted y le entregamos lo último en tecnología.
Broadcasting live from Houston, from the space city to the world. You are watching Now Media Television.
Hello and welcome to Salaam Namaste. Broadcasting live from the Now Media TV studios in Houston, this is Saji Salam. This evening we have a very special guest, Thomas Vaidhyan, who is the CEO of Aten Incorporated and a serial entrepreneur as well. Thomas Vaidhyan, welcome to the show.
Thank you and namaste.
Thank you. Good to have you on the show, Thomas. So let's dive right in. Could you share a little bit about your background?
Well, I hail from what they call God's own country, Kerala, which is the southernmost tip of India, where got educated at Loyola High School, the prestigious one, which is both our alma mater, and went on to graduate in physics and then did my MBA from Cochin University of Science and Technology, from where I moved on to work with Maersk, the Danish shipping line, where we were privileged to roll out the very first supply chain management software in the world, developed in conjunction with MIT and Harvard here. And then went on to work in a series of states: Bangalore, Madras, Chennai, Bombay, and finally in Delhi, where I was heading the supply chain management division when my wife, who's also an MBA and had a checkered career with Citibank, ITC, etc., both of us got headhunted by a company here in Pittsburgh, where we moved to in '99. And then we set up on our own later in 2001 and moved over to here, RTP, and set up Aten here. So that's a short one.
Oh, wow. Very impressive background here, Thomas. So what does Aten do?
Well, we are award-winning pioneers in what is known as virtual immersive personalized learning. Essentially, we use video game technology that kids used to play to create simulations which are used for a highly personalized form of learning. It's research proven and uses methodologies like evidence-centered design. But in a nutshell, what it does is we take a basket of competencies and say, what kind of actions will evidence mastery of these competencies, and create those day-to-day activities that people engage in, simulate that, and make them do that. And we were part of the early research in this area with Dr. Len Anetta and his team out of NC State, while parallel such research was going on with Harvard, Michigan State, etc. And interestingly, in 2005, post this research, which also was based upon earlier work with the Defense Department, as most technology is here, the NSF and Gaming Summit published results on it, which when you look at it is quite intuitive. Because when you read something, you retain only 10% of that information. When you watch a video, it goes up to 30%. But when you do something, it goes up to 90%, even if it is a simulation. And that was pretty amazing. I mean, you think about it, what happens is in these kind of immersive environments, it is just like when you watch a movie, you get into a state of flow. And when you're in that state of flow, the learning becomes subliminal. But then what we also did is we added on data tracking to this. So we could get a host of big data and personalize it to each person's strengths and weaknesses. And initially, we had tried to apply this to the educational arena, but then we realized that it was a much better traction in the corporate world. Because if you look at it, even today, a lot of the corporate training and instruction happens on a face-to-face, one-on-one basis. It is non-interactive, low retention, non-scalable, non-application based. And one of the beautiful things with these kind of simulations is you're making people apply what they learn in experiences and situations which where they have to take decisions that they would do on a day-to-day basis. And so unlike the multiple choice questions that you get assessed on, even for SAT and all to this day, in these kind of environments, you are assessing their performance. Just like you have a golf coach or a tennis coach, you're able to give instant formative feedback for them to correct it. And then that gives a host of data, which gives us a lot of applications as well. So that is the reason why, we took this and we were able to develop this into multiple frameworks where we essentially show people what to do, make them do it. And while they're doing it, give them that kind of formative feedback, track and assess everything that they do, and create kind of a virtuous loop over this whole cycle.
Very, very, very interesting. So the quick question I had is the name. Where did Aten come from?
Yeah, interesting question. Yeah. So, growing up, having a name like Vaidhyan meant I was always on the last end of the cookies, receiving the cookies, and sometimes don't even receive them, right? So I wanted a name which started with A, had only 2 syllables at most. And then my son's name is Aditya, which means the sun. And so this resonated very well. And later, I realized that this was the first time that, everybody was brought under one God. And interestingly, the USAF has a Aten Warthog plane, which is in existence from 76, I believe. So yeah, multiple connections there.
Oh, so that's real interesting. Yeah, and I looked up Aten and I found the Egyptian sun god, and I went, okay, interesting, inspirations. So talking about inspiration, what inspired you to start Aten? What was the driving force here?
Well, again, it had something to do with my son. And when we moved here from Pittsburgh, that was primarily because I wanted my son to have some of the best education possible, and also because this was a technology hub. We were researching extensively the educational opportunities available. And one of the things I realized early on was that there was a big lacune in the effective use of technology in education, which led me to being on quite a few educational boards, etc., and also getting started up with a few educational ventures, which I'll talk about later as well. But this gap there was what got me excited into moving into that educational learning area, which also then made the connection with Dr. Lenanetta and his team, and went on from there.
Mm-hmm. So to summarize Aten, is it sort of like learning by doing, but not really doing. It's more of a virtual doing in an immersive, simulated environment. Is that the core functionality that you provide in Aten? And maybe there are other things too, but so far that's probably what we discuss. Is that correct?
Exactly. We immerse them in virtual environments, whether it is virtual reality, augmented reality, or very simply going through a computer simulation of whatever they do. So we have clients like biotech companies here, where they have to turn multiple knobs on a system, which is a couple of $100 million system, and a few wrong turns can have millions of dollars in loss. Or you can have a pilot who's flying, and he has to take n number of actions. And when you immerse them into these kind of situations, the beauty of it is they get an opportunity to fail multiple times without the repercussions that they would have in the real world, and learn and experience from that, which becomes invaluable.
Oh, great. So it's interesting to learn about what Aten is doing, and we'll talk more after a short break.
What if you could feel in control of your retirement in just a few clicks? At aceyourretirement.org, you can. Start with a free 3-minute chat with Avo, your friendly digital retirement coach. Just answer some simple questions like, how do you feel about your ability to save for retirement? Or in how many years do you want to retire? To get free action items customized just for you. Get your retirement back on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
You are loved. You are valued. You are resilient. You got this.
You are there for them. We are here for you. Find free care guides at aarp.org/caregiving.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
It took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Thomas, we'll talk more about Aten, but I also wanted to learn a little more about the 3 other ventures that you had started up. In my mind, you're a serial entrepreneur already. So could you talk to those, please?
Sure. Just like you, I had quite a bit of experience in the corporate world. And one of the things that happens with the corporate world is you end up working crazy hours and not necessarily getting the ROI on that kind of an investment. And, one of the earliest lessons I had was, the value of time, how, you can always make money, but you can never recoup the time you lost. So the reason why I initially started up, because I wanted to be in control of my time. And it also kind of coincided with our son's birth, so I could spend more time with him. But way back in 2001, after growing the company that we had joined in 99 by over 360% in a year, we said, hey, we have to do this for ourselves. So we branched out into IT consulting primarily for logistics companies as well as financial companies, and had a host of customers like Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, Majesticks, IBM, etc., where we were doing consulting work. This also enabled us to move away from Pittsburgh and the gloom that we couldn't take there over 6 months. So we had various options and chose RTP because of its excellent educational possibilities, as well as it being a big hub for technology. And while we were here, we had meantime grown that company, Acumen, to over $1 million in around 4 years. We exited that and we started Aten here in RTP. And although initially Aten 2 was into IT consulting, our kind of exposure to the opportunities in education made us come out with a product which we wanted to spin off as another company. Essentially, in those days, there was no way to connect people globally and bring expertise for people from anywhere. So what we try to do is create a whiteboard from anyone from anywhere to teach anyone, right? So this we wanted to take out and scale up and market, but unfortunately that didn't go too far because of lack of finding proper VC funding, etc. But the beauty of it is that got me connected with Dr. Anetta's team, which then led to the startup or spin-off of Aten into this virtual immersive arena, which at that point was really, really pioneering, and nobody was really in that area. So we were able to develop ourselves in this very niche market, which then was kind of surprising to many people, but now is kind of an established market. Along with this journey from 2005 to now, we also started Aten India, which is our primary R&D center out of Technopark in Trivandrum. We started another company called Precise Skills in partnership with folks out of Duke University, which was similar to Coursera, but again, we didn't take it too far. And again, in 2016, we tried another venture called primarily aimed at patient training, especially post-surgeries, etc., in the healthcare area. So just as I have had successes, I have also had failures, which is often the case with all entrepreneurs, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, so your core still is education, right? I mean, education and simulation and various settings. Am I right in thinking that way, or is there something more you're doing outside of education?
We used to be a broader IT consulting company early on, but once we realized that this niche was very unique, and in the process of our developing these multiple frameworks, we ended up winning multiple awards. We were finalists in Bill Gates' Next Gen competition, MacArthur competition, the National Board of Medical Examiners competition. We got an award from Jamie Dimon for the rollout we did with JP Morgan, which became global. So these successes kind of pointed us to pivot into this area primarily, and that is our focus today.
Mm-hmm. So from a broader consulting perspective, you decided to focus on a niche, and the niche is simulation in learning, and that's where you are right now. Though within the whole simulation-based learning, you are targeting several verticals, right? I mean, you're in healthcare, what other industries are you in with your software?
Well, we don't confine ourselves to any particular vertical or industry, but being in a biotech hub here, our early adopters were the biotech industry, and because there was immense success with what we did, there was tremendous word of mouth, which essentially meant we really grew ourselves in this biotech industry here in the RTP region. And on a similar vein, because we had JP Morgan as one of our early adopters, we then went on to have multiple financial clients like Wells Fargo, etc. And similarly, on the healthcare side, we had word of mouth, which went on to develop customers in France, like Nestle Health, Grifols in Spain, and so on. So this is kind of the branching out that we did.
Mm-hmm. So while you're talking branching out, and I think I heard France, which countries are you doing business in? Is it U.S., France? Where else are you?
Yeah, we have U.S., France, Switzerland, Spain, also earlier on Sweden and Norway, and of course quite a bit of work in India itself because of the tremendous outsourcing that happens, right? A lot of the work, training needs to be done in India.
Mm-hmm. So in a place like India with outsourcing, where do you see the space to use simulation-based training? I mean, is it in places like call centers? Where do you see that space?
So one of our largest clients is WNS, which is probably one of the biggest outsourcing companies, and they have customers like FedEx, Lytics, etc., where you have drive cam videos which come in. People have to look at it, figure out where the drivers are making mistakes, and kind of mark it out on the software. So we simulate these kind of environments and train them. Typically the earlier kind of training that used to happen was PowerPoint-led training, right? Here, because we are able to immerse them in these situations and really replicate what happens on a day-to-day basis and what they would be doing literally on the operation floor, we were able to bring down that training period or that learning cycle from around 6 months to 3 months, and also ensure that because these people in this virtual environment are going through literally thousands of these kind of experiences, they had around 3 months of experience before they actually stepped onto the shop floor. Again, another customer who we work with is Wells Fargo. So where they go through decision-making kind of situations, and this is for at CFO level decision-making, which happens there. So we are taking them through essentially investment banking, asset management, those kind of decision-making right there in these virtual worlds, and cutting down on their learning cycle. And interestingly enough, the end result of this that we have noticed with our customers is a 15 to 21% increase in productivity, reduction of attrition, and overall reduction of cost, which translate into millions of dollars on an annual basis.
Okay. Well, this is amazing work that you're doing, and I'm seeing that you're targeting both ends of the spectrum within an organization, right? At the lower level, where the workflow includes several steps, you're able to break down the processes and train the staff at that level. But on the other hand, you're also able to go up the chain at the executive level and simulate decision making and learning around that for the top executives. So that's great. So Let's talk more once we come back after a short break.
My name is Andrew Glisson. Over the past 4 years, I've built a portfolio of over 200 single-family rental properties that generate over $200,000 a month in income. I've put together a 6-step formula to help you consistently acquire rental properties that cash flow $250 or more a month and have $30,000 or more of equity built into them. This includes starting right, becoming bankable, buying right, renovating right, exit strategies, property management, and many more modules. Best of all, if you're not totally blown away by the content, we offer a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. If you're ready to build generational wealth for you and your family, look me up at sfruniversity.com.
Hey, Lily says AT&T is giving everyone their best deals.
Minus the air quotes.
Best deals.
No need to wink. Others say they give everyone a deal, but not everyone gets the best deal.
Told you, the best deals are for everyone here, with a choice of plans.
You were right.
Is she always right?
Always.
At AT&T, we give everyone our best deals on every smartphone.
Are you a business owner feeling overwhelmed or burnt out with no energy left for what's most important to you? In order to effectively run your business and maximize your profits, you have got to be the best possible you that you can be. Now is the time to reclaim your energy, master your schedule, and maximize your profits so you can effectively run your business rather than it running you. It's time to become the CEO of your business and life. I'm Jen Godet, a business strategist and life coach. I work with overwhelmed business owners who feel stuck in a rut and depleted. I teach you how to stop doing the things that aren't making you money and start prioritizing the things that bring you energy, joy, and lasting impact. I'm a human performance specialist and an international best-selling author. I've helped countless people all over the world to learn the art of saying no, overcome their fear, and maximize their performance. Let's get you to live your best possible reality. Start today and become the CEO of your business and your life.
Taking a trip in the next 12 months? Airlines are under tremendous pressure and they're practically giving away their unsold seats. Like every crisis, this one will end too. But right now is the best time to take advantage of giveaway ticket prices on their unsold seats. We're not allowed to publish these low fares online. The only way to get these rock bottom giveaway prices is to call. So phone low-cost airlines now for airline ticket prices you may never see again.
Welcome back. Let's continue this fascinating conversation with Thomas Vaidhyan. Thomas, so we discussed some of the customers, the way you go about doing business. So now let's cut to your friends and family. So what role did your friends and family play in all this?
As I mentioned, my wife is the co-founder, and she's kind of the anchor who has enabled me to make kind of crazy career choices and go down this path. But also, right now, she's the president and CEO of our company, which means she handles all the operations for us, manages all of the teams, enabling me to have a lot of free time to meet with people, play golf, tennis, etc. So she is basically the anchor who runs this. And my inspiration in many ways was my mother, who, though being a teacher, was herself an entrepreneur, and have had a couple of successful ventures back at home. My dad, on the other hand, was a professor of English, And so for the longest time, he wanted me to take a real job and make a real salary.
Right.
But then later on, I think he accepted that, hey, entrepreneurs too can be successful. But talking about friends, friends are the network on which our organization has developed because, as people do business with people who you trust. And more, our growth has been primarily based on friends that we have developed in the industry and earlier friends who made the calls, made some connections, and always have been the impetus to our growth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So there is both sides to the equation when working with family. So what are the pros and cons of working with a family member like your spouse, and do the workplace decision making come back home? How do you switch off the workplace mindset and get into the home place mindset once you get home?
Hey, this was one of the first lessons I learned when way back in 2002 I started working out of home. I realized that I had to kind of compartmentalize things and stop taking calls after 5 o'clock. Otherwise, things would eat into both areas, right? So I have a kind of very strict adherence to that. So, we only look at emails during work hours. We only take office calls during work hours, unless there's an emergency and it's some very important customer. As far as the how it impacts the relationship with my wife and I working together, I don't know, maybe I've been extremely lucky, but we have been able to work together very, very smoothly. There, it's like a team who knows each other very well. And as you probably know, when you have lived with somebody for over 25 years, you don't even have to talk in many cases, and I think that gels very well for us as a team.
Oh, that's really good to know that you guys are able to complement each other and bring in skills and work together as a team. This is very rare, I would say, in a situation, and I'm glad that you're in a good place in that regard. So now let's talk some more about your future. What are your thoughts on expansion and growth?
This, as I mentioned, this was a very nascent industry, and being pioneers, it was quite a bit of struggle in the early days. But we were one of, again, the successful ones, because quite a few others who had started in this, North Carolina is, especially the RTP region, is a hub for gaming. So there were quite a few others also who had, startups in the same area, but unfortunately they all wound up. But we have been able to get past that early adopter stage, and now the industry as such is maturing. So this, for us, is a very great time. We have established customers, and the way our business model is, we do a digital transformation going into some of these large organizations, which then enable us to have recurring revenues going on for 10, 15 years on a contract. So this is a great time of growth for us, and we are looking at possibly growing into a stage where we can exit in the next 5 to 10 years.
Very good. Going back to a little bit of the deeper dive, I was watching one of the videos on your website, which is, I think, an airline pilot training simulation. So my question here is, how do you get this set up? Do you hire or you contract out to a pilot and flight trainers to work with your team to come up with these ideas and even the alerts that you are showing on the screen when, hey, you did not get the flight to this altitude, blah blah blah. So all that, do you get it from specialists in those verticals?
So the typical way we work with any kind of transformation that we do with an organization is in the very initial stage itself, we request to have a team of subject matter experts. So typically there would be 2 or 3 subject matter experts. In this, you can see that particular pilot who's there in the screen. He was a subject matter expert who was helping us. So they work with our content teams. Then we go through, just like a commercial game or a movie, we create a storyboard for pretty much everything that will go in there. And so the subject matter experts work with our team and finalize on the storyboard as to what goes there, what happens, what are the conversations, what does the avatar do, what are the decision-making tree, etc. And then finalize on that before it goes into any kind of development. So it is almost like a movie making kind of cycle, or a game making, commercial game making kind of cycle.
Well, very interesting, because what I'm hearing is that there are several skill sets involved here, right? You have storyboarding and the movie making almost type of skill set. You have the gamification, you have software, and then you have subject matter experts. I'm thinking some of the software developers are offshore as well. So how do you get all these specialists with very niche skills to kind of collaborate and keep this running, and when you're doing a product development?
Very good question. And this is again, this was one of our early learning processes. So because oftentimes we have project managers and game designers out of US working with a team which consists of game developers, database technology developers, AI, ML guys. Then there is the content team, which consists of pure, the content people, but also video developers, animators. There's a whole host of these folks, which we typically break up into small units, which cross-connect with each other and work on different projects. So, one of the things that we have done really early on was let people work from home. And although we have a physical office both here at the Research Triangle Park and at the Techno Park in India, we have kind of given our employees the ability to work from their home when they want, what time they want, but they have daily Scrum meetings where they get together with the people they are interacting, and they have sprints that they decide on and work together. And we just get information on how these are going. We have our own dashboard of monitoring these things. So over the years, we have developed some processes to enable this kind of a collaboration across, these two countries and time zones, and also people living in different places.
Very, very interesting. And it is a truly global world, and be it development or sales. It's good to see that you guys have been able to address that the challenges which many people face about global product development. So let's come back and discuss more after this short break.
My name is Andrew Glisson. Over the past 4 years, I've built a portfolio of over 200 single-family rental properties that generate over $200,000 a month in income. I've put together a 6-step formula to help you consistently acquire rental properties that cash flow $250,000 or more a month and have $30,000 or more of equity built into them. This includes starting right, becoming bankable, buying right, renovating right, exit strategies, property management, and many more modules. Best of all, if you're not totally blown away by the content, we offer a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. If you're ready to build generational wealth for you and your family, look me up at sfruniversity.com.
Hey, Lily says AT&T's giving everyone their best deals.
Minus the air quotes.
Best deals.
No need to wink. Others say they give everyone a deal, but not everyone gets the best deal.
Told you, the best deals are for everyone here, with a choice of plans.
You were right.
Is she always right?
Always.
At AT&T, we give everyone our best deals on every smartphone.
Are you a business owner feeling overwhelmed or burnt out with no energy left for what's most important to you? In order to effectively run your business and maximize your profits, you have got to be the best possible you that you can be. Now is the time to reclaim your energy, master your schedule, and maximize your profits so you can effectively run your business rather than it running you. It's time to become the CEO of your business and life. I'm Jen Godet, a business strategist and life coach. I work with overwhelmed business owners who feel stuck in a rut and depleted. I teach you how to stop doing the things that aren't making you money and start prioritizing the things that bring you energy, joy, and lasting impact. I'm a human performance specialist and an international best-selling author. I've helped countless people all over the world to learn the art of saying no, overcome their fear, and maximize their performance. Let's get you to live your best possible reality. Start today and become the CEO of your business and your life.
Taking a trip in the next 12 months? Airlines are under tremendous pressure and they're practically giving away their unsold seats. Like every crisis, this one will end too. But right now is the best time to take advantage of giveaway ticket prices on their unsold seats. We're not allowed to publish these low fares online. The only way to get these rock bottom giveaway prices is to call. So phone low-cost airlines now for airline ticket prices you may never see again.
What if you could feel in control of your retirement in just a few clicks? At aceyourretirement.org, you can. Start with a free 3-minute chat with Avo, your friendly digital retirement coach. Just answer some simple questions like, how do you feel about your ability to save for retirement? Or in how many years do you want to retire? To get free action items customized just for you. Get your retirement back on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
You are loved. You are valued. You are resilient. You got this.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides at aarp.org/caregiving.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Welcome back to the show. Hope you've been enjoying this conversation so far. Thomas, now let's move to a different topic. We keep hearing a lot about the growth of virtual reality and augmented reality. What's going on in that space? Could you talk to our viewers about that?
Yeah, there has been a lot of hype of late about the industry, especially with Meta, its investments, its failures, etc. The Google glasses before, but as such, the industry is, has been growing tremendously to over a 25 billion industry in 23 for the augmented reality market. And it is expected to grow to over 71 billion by 2028. And the virtual reality market is expected to grow to 29.6 billion by 2028. So, this is really growing. And with the Apple Vision Pro, which should be a much less clunkier option than the HoloLens and the Oculus and the Google Glasses, etc. I would think there should be some transformative changes coming in this industry as well. But even with what we have, especially in these areas and pure commercial gaming, this is a phenomenal market.
Mm-hmm. Very, very interesting. So what was coming in the way of the adoption of VR and AR? Was it more, not that VR and AR have not been adopted, but I thought the form factor, right, when the glasses came out and all these things that you have to wear, heavy stuff that you need to, wear on you, like Oculus. How is that come in the way? Is there a different form factor that may make adoption much easier and smoother?
You're absolutely right there, Saji. This has been the biggest impediment. Think of wearing something bulky and heavy, and at the same point not being able to see what is happening outside your surroundings. There have actually been cases of people being so immersed in these worlds that they trip down and fall and injure themselves, right? I think that is where we are kind of looking forward to the Apple Vision Pro to change that. And from the early things that I've seen, it is going to be awesome. And as we have seen with a lot of Apple products, their development from the initial one to something really sophisticated is very short. So I think we are in for some very interesting times in this area.
Mm-hmm. And what about Google? Where is Google? What I heard is that Google is coming out, or is already out, with another version of the Google glasses. This time is much more user-friendly, and there are some issues. But overall, what's your take on the new Google glasses?
I was really surprised that Google didn't follow through on their early version of the glasses, which incidentally got used quite a bit in the in the manufacturing and business world. But I think they let a tremendous opportunity go by not focusing on that early, being one of the early folks who had come into that. So I have no clue about what they are coming out with now. I've heard that they might, but I haven't seen anything yet.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Apple is still what we are looking forward to. That.
Okay. The other trend that around which there is a lot of hype and news and some reality too is artificial intelligence. No conversation around tech is complete without artificial intelligence. So, does artificial intelligence have any role here, and if so, what?
So AI, ML, again, is the current hype. But for us in the gaming industry, anything related to gaming uses AI, even for the basic physics of the character moving around. So we've been using AI for a very long time. But we have also, in our specific niche, been using Bayesian modeling and stuff like that, models like that early on. However, what we specifically, in what we are doing at Aten, are doing is because we come up with organizations who sit on a tremendous, mine of big data, which oftentimes is not used and just lying there. So what we are trying, so with corporate training, what we have done in our digital transformations have been to take, primarily the training portion and transform it. But then what we also did was extending it to the hiring. And then now we are extending it to the data coming in from the operations and the shop floor. So ultimately, what we are trying to do with some of the innovations that we are coming out with our AI/ML framework is to create a virtuous loop where data from the time they are hired, including their personal background, etc., is connected up with their training, their shop floor performance, their endurance in the organization, and so on and so forth, to create a really good loop of information which can be effectively applied for organizational growth and finding out areas where improvement can be made.
Mm-hmm. And extending that thought a little further, you have tons of data. You know how people are performing. You have their background information, and who did what well and in what circumstances. So, are you seeing that there could be potentially some use of this information and the data that you have for hiring? So is that something that is in the works? Are you guys thinking about it? What are your thoughts on that?
We are already using it for hiring.
Mm-hmm.
So that is already happening. So, but what we are doing is kind of translating that into predictive models for what kind of hires will have lower attrition, what kind of hires can have better productivity, what kind of hires can have a smaller, shorter learning curve. There are a host of things that have application potential here, right? So yeah, those are the things that we are right now working on and developing.
Mm-hmm. And since healthcare is of interest to me, what are the applications you are now doing in the healthcare space? Where do you see the growth in healthcare going from where you are now?
Healthcare again was one of the early adopters, and I myself had a surgery last year which used the Da Vinci, the robotic system. A lot of those kind of trainings are already using simulations and virtual reality. But then, as I had mentioned with one of our startups, one of the things that we realized is it can also be extended to patients. Patients, and even for some cases where when people are immersed in certain environments, their fear of flying, for instance, is eased. They can be put into, so the applications for these again are huge, and we are just kind of testing the tip of the iceberg here in terms of healthcare applications right now.
Mm-hmm. Impressive. So now, if our viewers want to reach out to you, how do they get to you?
The best way is through the website, www.ateninc.com, or personally, you can reach me at thomas@ateninc.com, or on LinkedIn, Thomas Vaidhyan, or Twitter. These are the easiest ways to connect, or they can take my number from you.
All right, great. Yeah, great. It's a great conversation, Thomas. I'm sure a lot of our viewers have learned a lot from listening to you. Good luck in your ventures, and thanks for joining. See you soon.
This has been a Now Media Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.
My name is Andrew Glisson. Over the past 4 years, I've built a portfolio of over 200 single-family rental properties that generate over $200,000 a month in income. I've put together a 6-step formula to help you consistently acquire rental properties that cash flow $250,000 or more a month and have $30,000 or more of equity built into them. This includes starting right, becoming bankable, buying right, renovating right, exit strategies, property management, and many more modules. Best of all, if you're not totally blown away by the content, we offer a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. If you're ready to build generational wealth for you and your family, look me up at sfruniversity.com.
Hey, Lily says AT&T's giving everyone their best deals.
Minus the air quotes.
Best deals.
No need to wink. Others say they give everyone a deal, but not everyone gets the best deal.
Told you, the best deals are for everyone here, with a choice of plans.
You were right.
Is she always right?
Always.
At AT&T, we give everyone our best deals on every smartphone.
Are you a business owner feeling overwhelmed or burnt out with no energy left for what's most important to you? In order to effectively run your business and maximize your profits, you have got to be the best possible you that you can be. Now is the time to reclaim your energy, master your schedule, and maximize your profits so you can effectively run your business rather than it running you. It's time to become the CEO of your business and life. I'm Jen Godet, a business strategist and life coach. I work with overwhelmed business owners who feel stuck in a rut and depleted. I teach you how to stop doing the things that aren't making you money and start prioritizing the things that bring you energy, joy, and lasting impact. I'm a human performance specialist and an international best-selling author. I've helped countless people all over the world to learn the art of saying no, overcome their fear, and maximize their performance. Let's get you to live your best possible reality. Start today and become the CEO of your business and your life.
Taking a trip in the next 12 months? Airlines are under tremendous pressure and they're practically giving away their unsold seats. Like every crisis, this one will end too. But right now is the best time to take advantage of giveaway ticket prices on their unsold seats. We're not allowed to publish these low fares online. The only way to get these rock bottom giveaway prices is to call. So phone low-cost airlines now for airline ticket prices you may never see again.
What if you could feel in control of your retirement in just a few clicks? At aceyourretirement.org, you can. Start with a free 3-minute chat with Avo, your friendly digital retirement coach. Just answer some simple questions like, how do you feel about your ability to save for retirement? Or in how many years do you want to retire? To get free action items customized just for you. Get your retirement back on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
You are loved. You are valued. You are resilient. You got this.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides at aarp.org/caregiving.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my third child who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Estamos viviendo momentos difíciles. Si perdiste tu empleo y el dinero no te alcanza, puede que estés usando tus tarjetas de crédito para sobrevivir. No te agobies. Llámanos. Prometemos ayudarte y mostrarte una manera de reducir tus pagos mensuales. Ayudamos exclusivamente a personas que quieren deshacerse de sus deudas de tarjetas de crédito. Reduce tus deudas y haz un simple pago a todos